Hi everybody and welcome back. We are coming to you after the East versus West cheer match and it was pretty exciting.
I liked it a lot. It was kind
Yeah.
of different seeing like these overall scores and these teams kind of not just competing against each other but kind of repping.
Totally. It was a fun twist. I'd never seen like a competition like that before.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I never want to see one again. No kidding. We actually, and if you guys watched, but we actually had, it wasn't necessarily the teams that were competing, it was overall. So we took the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And in the top 20, because we just said, okay, top 20, how many teams are from the West, how many teams from the East? And we end up finding out that it was 15-5. So East
yes.
15, West 5. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But as you guys probably saw, or you can go back and watch, the West had a lot of teams competing this time.
Yep. They really pulled through.
They did 7. So 7 teams ended up breaking that top 20. It did knock one West team out. So it was like, hey, get
Yeah.
7 in, 1 comes out. So
Yeah.
you had, but they ended up being 11-9.
That's
So they
close.
closed the gap to just two spots.
Oh, it's better than 15-5 though.
It really, really is. And of course, as the season goes on now,
Totally.
what we were hoping to do is now give everybody something, and myself, something to look for on that leaderboard. It's like, okay, it's cool to see where our team is, but how's the West and the East doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had talked about just like West Coast, East Coast, and just kind of there's no different styles, but still it's like the teams know who each other are. They know who the best ones out in the
Exactly.
West, from like what's California All-Stars, I think there's one
Yeah.
really big gym out there, to CJA, who's
Yep.
a huge team on the East Coast.
Yeah, well, and when you do more of the local competitions and stuff, you don't get to compete against your opposite coast. It's normally only in the big competitions. So seeing how you line up against the other coast teams is interesting.
Well, watch this question here. So is that one of the reasons that you guys would like cheer match? See what I did there? Because you guys get to compete against teams that maybe you only see once a year.
Totally. I think especially like seeing your routine, because you're paying all this money to go to a big competition and you have no idea how you're going to compete against like a team that you normally don't compete against. But having that opportunity earlier in the season and then being able to adjust your routine to be able to be comparable or compete against that team that you wouldn't normally have the opportunity to compete against is really cool.
I would say so, and I mean that's the thing. I mean, yeah, like you said, you don't ever see these teams. Do certain teams kind of show you where you need to pick things up?
Absolutely. There's definitely teams where like stunting's their really strong point or tumbling's their really strong point, or overall they're just like a great team or performance, and definitely depends on your division and like who's scoring the highest. But if a team's like beating you in like tumbling or beating you in stunting, you can kind of focus more in that area to improve your routine there.
I can see.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, and maybe how the season goes. Are there any like major competition live events coming up, like that people are checking on their calendars?
Yes, so NCA is coming up at the end of this month, which is like, other than like Worlds and Summit, that's like one of the big competitions mid-season, and Cheer Sport is coming up soon.
I've heard of them too. Yeah.
Those are the two really big ones where you get like teams from both coasts, and it's like big division, or like a lot of teams in every single division and level, which is awesome.
Would you see say NCA is like the first big one of the year, where you will get coastal teams and teams that you don't usually see?
Yeah, totally. I think that especially because your end of the season ones, it's like you've been working your whole season towards that, but there's definitely a push mid-season to try to just do really well at NCA,
I can
and
understand.
it's a super exciting competition.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I really can't, because I've started checking the boards and kind of just trying to put myself into competition and the season and the not industry, the sport as much as
There's
I possibly
nothing
can.
like it. It's
No.
something completely different.
I've even started watching, I'll admit to you, and I'll admit to you, I've even started watching Cheer, which isn't the
Yes.
same thing, I know, but on Netflix, because, I mean, you just get to see just kind of how they do it. And
Yes.
I would say the two teams that they're focusing on for a college cheer team, they're pretty close to all-star level, like
Yeah.
the styles that they use.
Yeah, and a lot of the kids on the teams also do all-star cheer teams, like international age ones, or they were brought up in like the all-star cheerleading and then they went to college cheer. But I could, like, a lot of like the mentalities and the work ethic, and even though the skills are like you can do like backflips and
Right.
your baskets or whatever, the skills and stuff are similar.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. It's
Yeah.
really, I mean, for a docuseries, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
So, speaking of impressive, what do we have on the docket for the show today?
On the show today, we are going. Hold on.
It's tough, isn't it? It's like I just literally looked at it, and now I'm like, oh shoot, what is
No.
going to be on the show today?
Normally, I have a really good memory.
We can
are
just throw
going
it
to
all
do-
out. We can just talk about whatever you want.
Yeah. We were going to do. We did. We were doing In Case You Missed It, right?
Right. But what's
Okay.
going to be on in case you missed it?
We were going to do the athlete segment,
Uh-huh.
and we were going to do the 4.2. Weren't we? Highlight the 4.2 team?
We can. Yeah, because they were the match high point.
Yes, the match high point. And
And then after we're done with that,
yes, and then after we're done with that, we are going to talk about the battle match.
there you go. See, I was going
Okay.
to go fisticuffs.
Yes,
Yep, you
okay,
got it.
okay.
So I will let you cue the music.
Cue the music.
Okay, nice job. Nice
Yeah.
lead in. Do you like the music?
I do like the music.
Okay, good. Good. It's a little quirky. It's not quite cheer matchy, from the
No,
show. It's very
yes,
different.
It's very Jason Dallas-esque.
Oh, so 1990s retro club style is basically what we're
Exactly.
going to describe it as.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So first and foremost, like you said, we're going to talk about the athlete segment, which I noticed you were on.
I was.
And then who was on it with you?
That was actually my best friend Presley. I've cheered with her since I started, so we were 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're only 6 weeks apart, so we've known each other like our whole lives. But yeah, she was on the interview with me, which is so cool.
Did she, you said you thought she had a good time doing it?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to do right now is, in case you missed it, we're going to take a look at Bella and Presley on our athlete segment on our last show.
I would say just the competitive aspect of it, definitely the nature of the competition, and I don't know if like fierce is a good word, that is a good word to describe it. Nerves and adrenaline and like just the rush of everything.
Yeah, the adrenaline you have, and I mean, I'm naturally just a competitive person to begin with, so getting to kind of channel that is awesome. And like the aspect of performing, like the stages that you're on when you're doing All-Star Cheer are so incredible, but even like just in your gym, but yeah, like the competitive nature, like you said.
Right, and even feeling the support of like the crowd, or if you're competing in your gym and you have different teams surrounding you and like you hear someone say your name and like cheer for you, it's just like, wow, like I'm really capable of this, and it's like you're just so loved. When the lights hit you, it's I feel like I kind of not go into autopilot, but I'm not in like full awareness of everything. It's like I'm just so zoned in on like everything I'm doing and taking everything step by step.
I would say that too. I think sometimes there's a point in the routine where you're like, oh my goodness. Like I remember a few competitions and even a cheer match. I'm like, my arms are burning, but
they're always-
you're working,
Right.
You're working towards something to like compete. So you push through, and you're still putting on a show. But
And the most amazing feeling is when you hit your routine and then you're in dance and you're literally just
Dancing
dying.
so hard.
And you're dancing so hard and
Your
you're like,
lungs are
after this,
burning.
I can literally just die on the floor.
So that was the segment, and it looks like you said, you guys had a blast.
Yeah.
In talking about the competition and everything, it was really kind of neat hearing you guys talk, and that's what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Is with the hosts that we have, I think they're fantastic, but do you think a segment like that would be, is it a good addition for the show for obviously the cheerleaders to kind of relate?
Absolutely. And I mean, you'll get different questions throughout the season and what is applicable during that time.
Good word.
Thank you. But I think having another like perspective from an athlete, especially like around the country, would be so awesome to add into cheer match.
With that, so also what happened with the battle match is we had our match high point. What I want to try to start doing is highlighting, of course, who our match high point was.
Yeah.
And our match high point was?
The Purple Aces.
In that Spirit of Texas.
Yes.
Yes. So a West Coast team, not Coast, but a West team, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they scored the highest on East vs. West.
Yeah.
We are
Yep.
now, of course, by screen telling us about Battle Match.
Very exciting.
I hope so. I think so. So what the battle match is going to be, it's really taking still competition like in East vs. West, but now it's rivalries. So
yes.
we're going head to head with those gyms that have always competed against each other. You know, gyms that are both known for their tumbling skills. Those are going to go head to head. Gyms that are, of course, in the same state. Head to head. Gyms that are just rivals.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure your gym has its rivals. You guys that always compete against each other and always are neck and neck. Rivals. So that's really what the battle match is about. We're bringing a little bit more of a sass and an entertainment value to a normal head to head.
Sass.
Sass. I have to say sass. You got to get in there.
You
There was
did.
actually a team in the last match called Purple Sass. I don't know if we're bringing the purple sass, but we're bringing some sass.
Okay, maybe we're bringing some green sass into this.
Oh, trust me, I'm having the hosts. They're going to dress all camo.
Oh my goodness.
They've had to go purchase outfits, all sorts of stuff.
And you gotta hit it out of the park after a COVID season.
Oh my gosh, right? Here's hoping. I like the matches so far. Now, I will say this. Did you see the matches last year?
I've watched a few, yes.
Okay. And now you've watched parts and pieces of the match this year.
Yes.
And this isn't about better or worse, because we have different hosts, so we're not here to say bad, good, or indifferent. What I want to ask, just in the wrap up here, is what do you like about this season so far?
I really like the inclusion of like judges and athletes, and I think, yeah, just the aspect that has been added in, even like Make-A-Wish, and also just like the themes of the matches. I think it just kind of enhances everything, because competing on an online thing can be more difficult because you don't have the same adrenaline, right? But being able to have like the category match or the East versus West, that adds excitement, but then also watching it afterwards and having like interviews and things like that to watch is like really exciting.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, and something else that I have to tell you is that,
Yes.
and tell everybody there, that's my lead in. I'm going to tell you
Okay.
and kind of tell, at the same time. So our little show is getting on YouTube.
It is.
Yep. We are going to be on the Cheer Match channel. So we're not getting our own channel, so don't look for, if you have to go out and look for it, don't look for just the After the Show show. It's going to be at Cheer Match on their YouTube page.
channel.
Yeah, their YouTube channel. So
Yes.
Cheer Match YouTube. And then, of course, then you can search on their channel the After the Show show. I still keep pushing for the show, and they're like, no, Jason, it's the After the Show.
You still got the show, just.
I'm still going to make hats.
You will.
And then they can't stop me after that.
I know.
But anyway, look for us on YouTube. We're going to actually be posting this week all of the previous shows, which I think are interesting either way. Yeah, we're talking about matches that happened, but you can still see some of the interviews that we have.
Absolutely.
We can still see like the bids that we talked about. We've talked about a lot of stuff that's good for the whole season.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not really like match specific on
Right.
everything. And you get to see our nice faces multiple times.
It helps. And if you do go on the website and rewatch a match, you might need the After the Show
Right?
just to kind of make sense of it all.
Just like in case you missed it. So many fun things.
Or if you don't have time to watch a full match, guess what you do?
We're here.
You just go watch the After the Show.
Yeah.
All right, Bella. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You going to send us out?
Yes, I
Okay.
will. And thank you everybody for watching the After the Show show.
Bye, guys.
And with that, let's take a look. Nope. Let's take a look at the level. So you know it's the.
I got it. So let's kick it off with, I don't even know, sorry guys. Level 1. I was rehearsing in my head when you said it and I wasn't ready. Yeah. Okay.